2.5 years clean off of fentanyl. I'm a week clean off crack. I was raped when I was 13 because I was drinking and smoking meth, and I started using fentanyl like really heavily. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost my sister who passed away. She died of a fentanyl overdose. I didn't think there was going to be a rest of my life. I'm a smarter drug addict. That won't happen to me because I'm smarter. What's worse? Someone who doesn't try at all, or someone who sucks but like he tries? He still wakes up every day. He still. And 1 month after I moved in, he died of fentanyl. Like, I really want to stay sober this time. Like, I don't want to die. I have an answer, but I'm trying not to cry. You're gonna fucking do it. They're gonna say you can't, but you can, and you will. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be greater than you've ever imagined.
Welcome to Survivors Project X. Here we share a real story of people who faced addiction and touch life situation. This is not entertainment, this is education and awareness. Please help growing up this channel, subscribe, leave a comment or like. Thank you. Every Wednesday and Saturday new video. If you have any special question for them, please let me know in the comments and I will ask.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Alexis Yellow Bunny. I'm a hip-hop artist, rapper, singer, songwriter. I'm also a recovering fentanyl user, recovering meth user, and I recently got clean off of crack, and I am 1 week clean. Yeah?
Okay, thank you. So, I'm Mike, very nice to meet you. How old you?
I am 26.
Okay. So, first question. Can you please tell me about your childhood?
That's a loaded question. So both my parents, my mom and my dad, were addicted to crack. All of my sisters growing up were in the foster system. So I grew up kind of around them in the foster system. But my dad, he got custody of me when I was about 2 years old, and he kept those foster parents as my nannies when he worked out of town. And so I could be around my sisters growing up because we're all half sisters, so he couldn't take care of them because they weren't his kids. So I grew up with these lovely foster parents, Virginia and John. They raised me from when I was 1 year old until I was 12 years old. They're kind of like who I think is the reason why I'm such a capable person now, like why I still have a head on my shoulders, was because they were actually like really good people, and they like actually helped raise me. Like my dad didn't know what the fuck was going on. He's but they're from St. Boniface, so I grew up actually like around French people and stuff, so it's cool being out here.
Can you please remember more best day in your childhood?
Best days in my childhood? Probably when I found my rabbit. I found a rabbit when I was 9 years old, and we just in Kamloops, BC. We had a rabbit infestation, so me and my friend, we used to just run around by our schools and stuff and just try to catch rabbits. It was like our pastime. So definitely probably happiest back then. And then I got my pet. She lived until I was 19 years old, and then she passed away. So she was like 12 years old, I think. It's a long time for a rabbit.
And do you remember this day? Like what was summer, winter?
It was the summer of 2009, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And can you remember your more bad day in your childhood?
I had lots of bad days in my childhood. My dad had PTSD, and he was an alcoholic. And
He veteran?
yeah, he went. He was in the U.S. Army. He was a sniper. He went to Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Somalia. So he had really bad PTSD, and so I had lots of bad. Whenever my dad was drinking was a bad day, and that was almost every day. But
Okay. And how many sisters you have?
Britt, Sam, Kiana, and then there's me, and then I have a little brother, Dylan, and that's all my mom's kids. And then my dad has one other kid, Jamie, and he's 38, and so I'm the young. I'm my dad's little girl, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you please remember about school time? What you remember, like your school time?
Because I had like such a troubling home life, being back and forth from my dad's and my foster parents and stuff. I was always a disruption in school. I was always like the bad kid, and I was always in. I didn't even know I was in special classes until I left elementary school. Like, I was always in the principal's office. I think like the last 2 years of my school, in elementary school, so grade 6 and 7, I wasn't even allowed to go outside with all the other kids. Like, I was in the principal's office every single day. I came to school half an hour later than all the kids, and I left half an hour earlier than all the kids. And I wasn't allowed outside and stuff. So like they always viewed me as like the troubled one, or like always getting in trouble. But I found out later that my dad put me in school early because I'm a September baby. So I probably could have went the year after, and I maybe wouldn't have struggled so much.
Okay.
But definitely wasn't good in school. I was always good though at English and art. So I'd always be good on English and art, and even back then all my friends like knew I wanted to be a singer growing up, and I used to do little performances for my friends on the playground before they stopped letting me go on the playground. So I've always wanted to be like a performer and stuff.
So your remember see about school time? It's like you do your things.
Yeah. I used to in art classes or like our free time, I used to like draw, like I'd make my own tickets and then hand them out to my friends to come meet me at like, we're gonna perform at the slide, and I'd make little tickets. And I remember like I was always just like in the performance arts and stuff. So I always tried to incorporate people in that. I'm like, watch how cool I am. They're like, dude, you're not cool.
Okay, it's cool. And can you please remember more best day in your school?
My school, the best day of my school.
Like school time. It's not exactly in the school, you know, like in this time when you was there.
I'm not sure if it was like my best day, but the first time that I realized that like but the first time I was trying to do like the entrepreneurship, so I was like making the tickets and handing them out to my friends, and then I wanted to start a charity called Kids Helping Kids. So I painted a bunch of t-shirts for my friends and stuff, and I wanted to like get donations for this for like homeless people, or like not homeless people, but like kids in poverty and stuff, like with like struggling parents and stuff. It's this whole thing I wanted to create. So it was something I was really proud of. It never came into fruition, but it's something that like I realized that like I had a bigger mind and I wanted to help people back then.
And can you remember more worst day in your school?
I just I was not a popular kid. Like I said, I didn't know that I was in like special classes and stuff. People thought I was really weird. I got bullied a lot, but like back then I was so stupid I didn't even know I was being bullied, like to an extent, right? But looking back at it, I realized like obviously they didn't like me. I was like put in kind of situations that were to make fun of me, but I didn't even know it was to make fun of me, you know? Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Can you please tell Which substance you tried first, the first time?
First drug I ever did was crack.
Okay, before crack. Like marijuana, alcohol, no?
No.
Okay.
First drug I ever tried was crack. Because I was 12.
At 12 years old.
Yeah, so my dad did it in the house. I never knew that he was like, I knew he did something. I just didn't know what it was, and I didn't quite know like what certain drugs do to you, kind of thing. So I didn't know that he was I didn't know that he was a drug addict for like a really long time. I just thought like, my dad went downstairs and sometimes he came up funny. Like he was funny, and he always gave me money when he was in this funny mood and stuff. And when he was in the funny mood, he'd like pay me to leave the house. And one time I invited one of my friends over, and she's like, "No, your dad's a crackhead." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "No, like I've seen him smoke crack with my dad. Like your dad's a crackhead." And I was like, "Is that what this is?" Because I knew where his stuff was. I'm like, "Do you want to show you?" She's like, "Yeah, that's fucking crack." And I was like, "Oh, well, should we try it? Because our parents are doing it. Like, can't be that bad if both of our dads are doing it." So that was my first time doing.
And do you remember this day? Like, which is it was summer, winter, spring?
It would have been like the fall and stuff, because I just started going to high school.
Okay.
So it would have been like September.
And do you like see before how your father did this, and you repeat the same, no? With your friend, or you did this alone?
My friend kind of explained it to me. I think she like fake smoked it, but after she left, I was real smoking it. And then, like I said, I was put in school early, so when I went into grade 8, like high school, I was still 12. So then I turned 13, and back then, like everybody's smoking pot and stuff, right? So I was just like at home smoking this.
Okay, when you did your first hit, you remember feeling? What did you feel?
I don't think I smoked it properly.
Okay, so you didn't understand what happened.
Yeah, like I don't think like I took a big note, or like held it in, or like I didn't really know. I was 12. I didn't really know what like smoking, what you're supposed to do with smoking. It just made you like cough, and I was like, like your throat's closing, and your lungs, and you're like, It's kind of like smoking for a cigarette or whatever. It's just like your body has a visceral reaction to it, but you keep doing it, but you're not quite doing it right,
So you didn't understand what happened, and
then like when I kept on doing it, then like my body had been getting used to it, and then I was already
okay. So when you realize it, or how you understand, you want to repeat. When you repeat next time.
It was basically like whenever my dad was out of the house and I knew where it was. Like if it was in the house, I'm like,
So
what's
how long take time to second time try again?
maybe like a couple weeks.
Okay, and you was alone or with your friend?
I was alone. I was alone a lot. My dad always worked out of town, or he worked like slightly out of town. So he was gone by 5 a.m. and then he wouldn't get home until 5 p.m. Right? So I'd spend all morning, all day alone, kind of thing.
Okay.
If I wasn't at school.
And when you realize it, like you in addiction?
A lot of my friends when I was 13 were like a lot older, because I was on the streets a lot. Because like I said, my dad would pay me to leave the house, so I was using drugs as a way to like have friends, right? So I was using the money, and I was using what I could get to have friends. It was way more of like a social thing back then. But then a lot of my friends, they got into meth. And I just really didn't want to be that person yet, I was like, no, I'm not going to do meth. I'm way better than that. They're like, yeah, but you're smoking crack. it's debatable if it's worse or not, you know, like you're still doing hard drugs, like just do meth. And then when I first did meth, that was like, that's when I would say like, oh, I got addicted and stuff.
And when you try first one time it?
Meth? In the middle of that year.
No, what age you was?
I was 13, 14.
So 2 years after of your first hit of the crack.
I'd say like less than a year. So I started, because I was like 12, 13, like 12 turning 13 when I first started doing crack.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was 13 turning 14 when I first started really getting into meth.
Okay, and when you did the first one hit in the meth, what did you feel?
Anxious. Every time I did meth for like the first 2 years. Again, I was doing it socially. I wanted friends, so I was just kind of doing it. Like, yeah, I was like addicted at a certain point, but it was more social and more like wanting to be accepted back then. But whenever you do it, it's like when you stand up in front of a crowd for the first time and your heart's racing and it's just like I don't know what to do and you're sweating and you know like you're like flustered and you don't know how to like that's kind of how it felt like almost.
Did you like it?
No.
No?
No, it was like smoking anxiety every time you did it.
And after first one your hit of this substance what we're talking about, when you wanted repeat again, when you have this desire?
I wanted friends, so I was almost every day.
Okay.
You know? And then I started having like issues at school because I went into high school and then I got put back in foster care. So it was like I was out all the time. I was on the missing list like 50 times by the time I was 15. You know, like I was just out and I just wanted to hang out with people. And that was kind of my thing was like acceptance. It's not that I wanted to be a drug addict. It's just like I wanted to be around people that I thought liked me. You know?
Okay. And how it's going? Like, did you try something else or?
Oh yeah, no, I've done.
Did you did an injection?
I've never done IVs. Tattooing is the closest thing I've done to needles. So that's one thing I pride myself on. I didn't want to fall down that deep. My sister who passed away, she died of a fentanyl overdose. She used to use needles, so I was around that since I was very young, like 13, 14, 15. Whenever I'd see my sister, I knew that that's what she did. So it kind of scared me away from it because I seen like my big sister and she was getting sick, right? I know, it's heavy, dude. I got really fucked up life.
When you realized you were losing control?
That's hard to say. Cause like when you go like smoke, like you start off with drinking and shit, right? And then one of the friends would like pull out a pipe, and then now you're drinking and you're doing this, and then all of a sudden like I said, I was on the missing list a lot. I kept on getting arrested, and then I think like when I really lost control, it was like I was raped when I was 13 because I was drinking and smoking meth, and I was on weed, and it was my first 420 I ever spent, and I was raped, and I was like, that's when I kind of was like, okay, I obviously don't have control if I let that happen, because if I wasn't inebriated like that wouldn't have happened. And I know I can't like blame myself or anything, but like that's when I realized like this addiction shit is really harmful, you know.
And in this time, did you lose some friends from overdose?
I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost at least 20 people I know, like from my like teen years and stuff.
And when you see like this guy is dead, you not scared to die? Like you never think about this? You can die one day too.
Meth makes you feel invincible. Oh, that guy wasn't smart enough. Oh, like you have to make it make sense in your brain, or else you just get really sad about it. Yeah, or it might make you want to change, but if you don't want to change, you got to find excuses why it's acceptable. And you're like, oh, that guy, oh, dumbass, he didn't know how to do his drugs properly. Like, you just try to make it make sense, and like, you're young and naive, so you're just trying to, like, make it make sense so you can keep using. Find excuses why you can keep using, why it was different than, why I'm different than him,
You better of him.
Yeah, that's what you think. Like, oh, well, I'm a smarter drug addict. That won't happen to me because I'm smarter. Bullshit.
Okay. Did you ever romanticize drug use, and how long that last?
I don't think I romanticized drug use because I was started so young. I was being like taken advantage of from like a lot of older guys. So it's like I romanticized that lifestyle, like drug dealers and stuff. So I was always like hanging out with pedophiles. And because they made me feel like good about myself, because they want you around, right? So it's like I was romanticizing that lifestyle a lot more. Like, obviously I knew it was a sketchy situation and the drugs we were doing are like gross and dirty or whatever, but I romanticized being like with a dealer, being like, oh, I'm higher up, I know bigger people than you, like, oh, you're hanging out with this person, well, I'm hanging out with his drug dealer. That's what I was thinking back then, right? And then I was getting fed free drugs. Free.
So you didn't have some movie or music what you really like and you want to repeat in real life, like to romanticize drug use?
No, it was because, like I said, at a very young age, I knew there was something up with my parents. I knew that drugs were bad. I didn't know until I was 12 really what it was that they did, but I knew about drugs at a young age. And I think seeing my parents do it and seeing thinking it's normalizing it, right? So it's less scary because it's like, oh, well, my parents are doing it. It can't be that fucking bad. Like, it really can't. Like, it's not as scary, because if it was scary, something that puts you in danger, your parents wouldn't be teaching you that, right?
You have bad example. You have bad example. Okay. Can you please tell what more dangerous situation happen with you in lifestyle like this?
Like I said, it's like romanticizing the lifestyle, like hanging out with dudes that thought they're a big shit, thought they're a big tough guy, that you kind of assume that everybody's fake, and then when you actually meet someone who's the real deal, you don't clue in right away until you're in a very dangerous situation. And you're like, oh, this is real life. Like, oh, I could die. Like, I could get really hurt. I could, but you don't realize that because you hang around with so many people who talk. So you kind of drowned it out. And then you finally meet someone who's real and you don't listen. You don't listen to them because you think he's just someone who talks. And then all of a sudden halfway across the country fucking in some dude's fucking backyard in a tent because he's trying to like pimp you out and shit. Like, not, you know, but you just thought it was talk until you realized it was the real deal and it was too late. I'm just lucky enough to have recognized it early on in those situations that I could get out before it got too deep, like before I got too deep, you know? Before I got too hurt or too traumatized or too killed.
Can you say one example?
I was seeing this guy when I was living in Vancouver. I was seeing this guy that I met at a job site. When I used to be a flagger, like, stop, go, stop, go, you know, with the traffic people, right? And I met this guy on one of the job sites. He's covered in tattoos. You know, he was a bit older. Like, I was 19 at the time, so it didn't matter. But he had like gray hair and like salt and pepper hair, but he looked fairly young. And I just thought he did drugs. He's like, oh, come on this trip with me to Winnipeg. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the moment we left BC, I realized he had fucking, like, not bricks, but a shit ton of meth on him. And I was like, oh, I thought you just did it. You know what I mean? I thought you were just talking shit. I thought you just smoked it and was like a wannabe. And all of a sudden now I'm in Alberta and I'm hanging out at this motel for 2 weeks. We're supposed to be already in Winnipeg, and I'm still in this random place in Alberta. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. We drive more. We get to Saskatchewan. We get in a freaking police chase. He gets away. Boom, boom, boom. We show up. We get to Winnipeg. He goes to the store right away when we get to Winnipeg. Goes to the store right away. All of a sudden, 5 cops pull up. Where is this guy? Where is this guy? Where's this guy? Like, I don't know him. I'm not, like, I don't know what you're talking about. He went to the store. Like, I'm not from here. What do you mean? Like, they're like they wanted to like search my name. I'm like, go ahead. I'm a nobody. Like, I don't have like a bunch of charges. I'm not from here. And they typed my name. They looked at my records. They're like, oh, this girl really doesn't know anything, right? One of the cops pulled me aside. They're like, you should leave. This is a bad guy. Like, I know you're saying you don't know where he is, but you should not be here. And the fact that the police were pulling me aside, being like, get away from this dude the first day that I was there. And then that guy kept me in Winnipeg for 3 months. And the only reason why I was able to come back was because I did a music video with Brandon Taylor. I had a song with Brandon Taylor and he wanted to shoot a music video with it. And because he was a bigger artist, I think he saw the potential that could bring. So then he was like, oh, we can go back to BC now because you have something beneficial that we can do, right? So literally the only reason why I could leave Winnipeg to begin with was because I did music. So music has gotten me out of a lot of sketchy situations.
And did you was ever kidnapping? Did you was kidnapping?
It was like, did he kidnap me?
No, if you was kidnapping, like not he, like somebody else in your life, somebody kidnap you?
I'd say technically he did.
Okay.
Yeah, can I just spit this out? Sorry. I think I broke it. No, I didn't break it. No, we're fine.
Did you ever, have you ever been in prison?
I recently went to OCDC, but I think that's just a jail. Not like prison.
For how long?
It was a couple weeks. I got like assault with a weapon or whatever, but so now I'm legally not allowed to hold knives outside of a kitchen.
Okay. When did you realize that you wanted to recover?
The first time was because I've been in recovery a few times. I think like
So tell me please
three times. I've
about
done.
your first recover. How old you was?
I was 17.
17.
No, I think I was 16 turning 17. It was a 6-month program. And then if I did that 6-month program, I'd have 1 year to finish my schooling. But they didn't have any like records of me because I was in and out of juvie a lot. So I basically didn't have like school records. So I went to treatment so that I would be sober so I could graduate, basically. Because I knew I couldn't graduate if I kept on using. And I know graduating was so important for my dad, like to see me graduate. And that was just like something he...
So it was your desire or somebody push you to recovery? Like your father or mother?
Definitely, I mean, like, my dad encouraged it for sure, but at the end of the day, it was my choice, like, and I kept on going, like, in and out of juvie, and I was, like, sleeping with my drug dealer and stuff, and I really wanted to graduate, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it if I'm not sober, you know? So then we worked it out where, like, the last time I got arrested, they were trying to send me back to juvie. And I looked at them and I was like, just send me to treatment. Like, I will go. Like, I am willing to go. Just send me to treatment. Don't give me more time. If you give me more time and I come back out, I'm not going to get clean. Like, you know, like, help me help you.
So for how long was this treatment?
It was 6 months in Vancouver Island.
And what program this was? Like about what? Just like detox or like rehab or what is it?
Shout out the Oasis program from John Howard on the island. It's a life skills program, so it's not even classified as a rehab or a treatment. It's life skills, and their main focus is like counseling, getting people jobs, education and stuff. Like it's not focused on, oh, I'm a drug addict and this is what drugs are and this is why I did drugs. You know, and like they tried to like just teach you more life skills, especially as a young adult, right? Or like a teenager and stuff. They're like, okay, this is the stuff that you're missing because you're on the street. You know, so they really encourage that kind of rehabilitation.
And did you like it there?
Yeah, it was funny. The first day I pulled up, they're giving me my orientation, and they're like, oh, if you complete the program, this is what will happen. And I looked at them and I was like, if? What do you mean if? I was like, you know, I chose to be here, right? They're like, yeah, but like, you know, lots of girls say that, and you know, there's no pressure. At the end of the day, it's your choice if you want to be here or not. Like, we're not going to keep you here. And I was like, did you not hear me? I said, I want to be here. I was like, there's no if, there's when I complete this program. Like, don't put that in my head. There's no if, dude. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I remember at my graduation, it was cool too. Like I ended up like getting a job for like the last 3 months and shit. They like took me out of some of the programs because they're like, oh, she's doing really good. So when I graduated, the guy who did my orientation, I like went up to him and I was like, if. I was like, we're both here, and he's like, yeah, you're right. Like,
so 6 months you was there.
Yeah.
And after you go to real life.
Yeah, and then I went straight back into school, and then I finished 2 years of schooling in like less than one regular school year. I finished my 11 and 12, and I graduated valedictorian.
So how long you was sober with your first this treatment?
I think I was sober 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and then once I graduated.
And in this time, when you was like leave this treatment and you was sober 1 year and a half or something like this. Did you go to the meetings NA or something like this? Did you
No.
do something for your recovery, like I don't know, something?
I got my first job after. Other than that, like I've always been really codependent, so I've always like just relied on like my relationship to save me. I didn't want to give my power to God and stuff. That's always been my like biggest struggle, is like keeping the control in my head. So it's really hard for me at those meetings because there's so many people that are like selflessly giving themselves to God, and I'm like, I can't do that. That's not. I was like, God, if God got you clean, then God got you addicted, and that's not very cool. So I'm just gonna say I got myself addicted and I got myself out, right? I can't. Just that mentality. I'm stubborn, like I said. I'm a very stubborn person. So I think that's probably my biggest excuse for not going.
Okay, and can you remember in this 1 year and a half your more best day, like more happy day when you was sober after treatment?
Graduating.
And more bad day?
I had to get an abortion. I started seeing this guy. The first month we started seeing each other, he got me pregnant. I just got out of treatment, just started school. It was like my first month of school, the graduation year. And he got me pregnant. So I literally like had to deal with it's like postpartum kind of for the entire time I was finishing my school. So I didn't have good marks in gym, let's just say, because I was in pain for a while. It messed with my mental health.
And what did you try first one after your sober time and this treatment? What substance was?
The circumstances was that the boyfriend that was with me that entire year broke up with me. I'm weak when it comes to that stuff. I'm a very codependent person. I think also was why I use drugs, because I need to be around people. So when there's not that one person that's supposed to be holding you down and keeping you safe, I act out, right? And that's been my biggest downfall. My biggest struggle in my whole recovery journey is mentally relying on other people, and then when they don't come through, I act out, right? And I fuck up my shit. Because
so
I think
you broke up with this guy and you feel bad and abortion and you did first hit or something else.
Basically, yeah, I started getting mean in the relationship. I didn't want to be an abusive person. And then because he was, I was like his first real girlfriend, he was also, because hurt people, you know what I mean? Like, so, I was treating him a certain way, but I always wanted to go see him, so he started treating me a certain way. And then it became very toxic, and then when he finally left, I was like, fuck everything, and I was like, oh yeah, you don't want to be with me? Well, I'm just gonna kill myself. Not like this, but like this.
And what did you try?
I think I just went back to smoking meth.
Okay.
Yeah, I smoked meth for like almost 10 years. When I was like...
And you remember this your first hit after this sober time? What did you feel?
I don't think I remember the first hit, because usually when I've relapsed, it's because I was drinking.
Okay.
So it's like you don't really remember, like you're...
So you was drunk, and in this moment you...
Yeah, and then in the morning when you wake up, you realize you're already in it. So when you take another hoot, your body doesn't remember it as your first hoot again, right? Your body's already used to it because you were drunk all night smoking it. And so when you wake up and you actually realize what you did and you go and take that hoot again, it's not like it's already in your system, so it's not like you're taking the first hoot, right?
Okay, and your first relapse, how long was?
I'd say another 18, another 2.5 years I was using.
2 years, half more using.
Yeah, so I was clean 1.5 years. I started using again. I did it for 2 years, and then
So 2 years more.
yeah.
And how it was your life in these 2 years? You lose control, or you using little bit, or how it was?
I graduated. I got into that relationship, and I turned 19. That's what happened. Is I turned 19, and I was like, shit. I didn't plan on being here this long. I was like, I didn't make any plans on getting a job or what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, because I didn't think there was gonna be a rest of my life. So then, when I was in treatment, one of my best friends, they passed away. So I'd been writing songs like since I was young. So I wrote them a song. And when I turned 19, I was like, damn it, I should just try to be a rapper. Like, I should just try to do music, because like, if not, I'm just gonna die an addict. Like, I might as well be impactful somehow, right? So I put out that song for my friend. I put it out on their 2-year anniversary of their passing. I put out the song. It got like 1,000 views on YouTube. And I was like, fuck that. I'm moving to Vancouver. I'm gonna go try to be a rapper, because, and then like I said, music has saved me in a lot of ways, because it's given me something bigger than myself to look forward to. You know, like I'm like, okay, well, I can't die, because I can't make music if I'm dead, and I'm actually helping people this way, and I'm sharing my experience with addiction, even though I'm not 100% clean. Even just sharing it makes other people feel less alone, and the opposite of addiction is connection. So if I can make someone else feel less alone, or not feel the way I felt just by sharing when I did feel like that, then...
If you are going to try something, depression, addiction, or suicide thoughts, you are not alone. Here are people who care, who want to listen and help. Please go to support groups are in the screen.
That was like a really important thing for me. So I just like dipped out of it. I just dipped out. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go try to stay clean out there, or at least use less, because no one wants to hang out with a meth head anyways. So you know, it's not like you're going to hip hop shows and smoking meth in the bathroom. You'll look really bad. People won't want to support you. So it's like, gave me something to kind of like hold me more accountable, and like try to find other ways of dealing with my shit.
Okay, and how you get clean after your first relapse?
I was doing some music. I was doing a music video, and I met this guy who was an extra in the music video. He was the other artist's friend, and he met me, and he's like, "So what's your story?" Oh, kind of like addicted to drugs and shit. And he's like, he was all cute and stuff. So he's like, oh, well, like I like you, and you know, I was back and forth from Kamloops, and on my last visit to Kamloops, I was like being extorted. Like some dudes were just trying to get more and more money out of me. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna rescue you. And then I had overdosed. And he came and picked me up, and he moved me into his house, and he kept me clean for 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've sadly had to use relationships a lot of the times to kind of keep sober.
Okay, so you sober over 2.5 years, and you come back to using. Can you say what happened? Why did you did this?
Because we broke up. I'm a very codependent person, which is like shitty to say.
No, I mean, you was in treatment
Yeah.
in the island.
Yeah.
After you was 2 years or 1 year and a half clean, no?
Yeah, it was a year and a half clean.
So after this, why did you start using again in your 2 years and a half sober?
Because we broke up.
again. Okay.
Yeah.
And for how long you did do this more drugs?
For another year after.
Okay.
Year and a half. And then yeah, I was in a really bad car accident. I fractured my spine in 5 places, broke my jaw, broke my hand, fractured my collarbone. And because they had on the medical records that I was an addict, I wasn't allowed any pain meds. I had really bad back injuries. Like I couldn't wipe my own butt for like 2 months. Like I was really like, I gained like 35, 40 pounds or something like that. Like it was a really bad accident. So the moment I left my mom's house, I started using fentanyl like really heavily, just to help with the pain and the loneliness. And yeah, so what was the question?
So last one time, how long you was sober?
After my car accident, I wanted to get clean. I met this guy who shot videos just on spare time. He was driving to Ottawa, and I told him, I was like, dude, I'm gonna kill myself if I stay down here. I keep doing fentanyl. Like I don't want to die. Like I had like OD'd I think like 3 times in 2 months or something like that. Like once a month basically. I was like, I don't want to keep, like I need other people though around me. I need support basically. That's what it's just having the proper support. And he was like, okay, well, I need a road trip buddy. I'll shoot a music video for you. The condition is you can't do any fentanyl. I was like, okay. And that's how I ended up out here in Ottawa. It's because this guy brought me out, and we shot a music video. It was really cool. I went back. I was only like a month and something clean or whatever, and I went back. I was using, so I wouldn't say like that was like a stint where I was actually like sober, right? But it was a good introduction back into recovery after what I was dealing with. And then I asked my dad if I could move in with him, because I was like, hey dad, I really want to stay sober this time. Like, can I move in with you, and can like you help me? And he's like, yeah. And I went back to Kamloops, my hometown, and I got clean off of fentanyl without Suboxone, without methadone or anything, without Dilaudids. I wouldn't say cold turkey because I was using ketamine here and there, but like that's not, anything compared to fentanyl, but I moved in with my dad, and I spent Father's Day with him. I spent his birthday with him, and 1 month after I moved in, he died of fentanyl. And but I was a month clean off of fentanyl. I was like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't want to continue using, and so I just called up the few people I met in Ottawa, and I was like, I'm coming back, because I can't stay sober here in the house that my dad literally died in. And I'm gonna drive myself crazy, and now I'm grieving again. And yeah, so I'd say I'm 2.5 years clean off of fentanyl. I'm a week clean off crack. So, and the reason why I started using crack again was so I wasn't using fentanyl. I didn't want to go back to that. I was like, okay, what's the lesser of the evils? Okay, I'll just do crack, because that's basically cocaine, and people can't talk shit then, you know, like everybody else is doing cocaine, like fucking. So but then it started spiraling, and really affecting my health. So then I had to get clean off of that too. Didn't want to continue using that, but yeah, I think I'm like pretty much 3 years clean off of fentanyl though, which is good. I was just trying to self-medicate with something else.
And so you no smoking crack 1 week.
1 week.
And how you feel?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
You no want one hit? Like.
Of course you want it, but like, what do you want more? Do you want the hit or do you want to live?
So and weed help you not smoke crack.
Yeah, but I can't smoke too much weed. Because I think like starting at such a young age and like my brain not developing properly because I've overdosed a bunch in my teen years and stuff. Like I think weed sometimes triggers my mental illness a little bit. So if I smoke too much weed, I get like schizophrenic and I think people are trying to kill me and I have to like lock the doors and close all the blinds and I'm like I get really, really, really paranoid, like and scared. Like if I smoke too much weed and I came to this interview, I would not feel comfortable talking to you. I would be like this dude has other motives. Like why'd I come? You know what I mean? Like I'd just double think everything and I'd start getting like sweating. Like, where's the exits? Where are all the sharp objects? I get way too paranoid on weed, so I got to be very careful. But like, it does help when I want something, you know. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll smoke a little bit. Okay, that's too much.
Okay, how do you see yourself in 1 year?
Where do I see myself in 1 year? Hopefully, I'll be a bigger artist in Ottawa. I see myself possibly touring the East Coast, and at least like getting to know out here more. I see myself being a lot farther in my music and actually, because my dad dying, he had the house, and I'm gonna be getting some money from that house. So I wanted to make sure I was sober when I get that money, so I can actually use it for good. Like I don't want to just blow it away, or not even get the chance to blow it away and just like buy $500 of shit and just die. It's like, bro, you had a stack of cash. Like you could have just not, you know. Like I wanted to make sure I didn't do anything stupid with that money because it was all my dad could give me, you know. And I really wanted to make him. He was crazy. He was abusive, but he tried and he was there. My mom wasn't there. What's worse? What's worse? Someone who doesn't try at all, or someone who sucks but like he tries. He still wakes up every day. He still loves you. You know, he struggles every single fucking day, but he tries for you, right? So the fact that he couldn't leave me much, and that's the only thing he could leave me, I wanted to make sure that I was sober and I could do something positive with that money. So I'm going to try to use that money towards my music career because I know that's something he'd think is useful at least. Invest some of it, you know, make sure I keep some away, but I want to use a big chunk of it towards my music career and talking about addiction and talking about my stories, my entire music career, right? I want to help people in a greater grand scheme of things.
And when you see last one time your mother?
A couple months ago.
Okay.
Whenever I went to Kamloops last, so no, it would have been like 6 months ago, maybe 8. I don't know. This last little bit when I was smoking crack, I don't know how many months it was. Okay, it was you know, I wasn't there, so I can't tell you an exact date, but less than a year, let's say. I see my, I'd say 6 or 8 months, I think. Not that it fucking matters. I'm probably going to be seeing her next week.
Okay. What is your best day in your life?
I have an answer, but I'm trying not to cry. Sorry, let me collect myself. I did a festival one time with one of my friends. I had a song with her, so she's like, hey, come do this festival, do our song with me. She was opening at this festival. It's called Breakout Fest. Shout out Tiny Wings for bringing me. She's the girl I'm talking about. She invited me to come do this festival, and a bunch of big artists were performing later on that night. I think like the happiest day was the fact that like we were performing during the day, just like opening as like the local artists and stuff. And we got to like hang out backstage and everything in the VIP because we actually performed. And then we got like free tickets to the show because we were performing. And then I got to see one of my favorite artists on the same stage that like I was performing on earlier that day. And it's just like it's like seeing yourself in the future, you know? It's like always been my goal. It was just like so cool. It was so cool to see like my favorite artist. And I was like, I was standing right there. You know, like that's like why like music has saved my fucking life like multiple times. It's just like I know that telling my story can help people because you know like artists like that have helped me through difficult times.
And who's this guy? What name? What name of yours is this guy?
Fucking Trippie Redd, man. As I performed on the same fucking stage as Trippie Redd. Obviously, he had no correlation, has no idea I exist, but the fact that he was standing same day, same stage, and I got to be front row that night, free tickets. I got to be there, and I was just like, oh my god, like that's the freaking goal. It's always been the fucking goal.
You was sober in this time?
Yeah, I was sober.
You see how beautiful be sober?
I know, yeah. Super cool. And it's just, yeah, I think that was like one of the happiest days of my life, and it wasn't even correlated to me, you know, my friend was just bringing me out, you know, so, yeah, it's something I'm always like super proud of and I think about often.
What things make you really happy?
What things make me really happy? Oh God, food, comedy, obviously, laughing. I used to longboard, but my knees are really bad now. I'm getting old. I'm closer to 30 than I am my teens. My knees hate me, but I used to really like longboarding. That was always fun. Just like anything creative. Like I make my own merch and stuff. I'll buy the black t-shirts and I'll make the stencils myself with like X-Acto blades and like laminate sheets, and I make the stencils and I paint on the shirts and like anything creative. I just started doing stand-up comedy. I've been working on that out here too. Like been trying to work on doing more of that. Makeup, I love makeup. Anything creative, anything where I can like produce something and get a reaction, you know?
And when you was last one time really happy?
I got to perform with Dax, well not with Dax, but at Dax's show. My friend Robbie G brought me out to Dax's show in Ottawa. I got to perform in front of like 1,000 people. So that was really cool. And like I may not have been like completely sober in the grand scheme of things, but like I made sure like I was level-headed that day. Like I was actually like made sure that, you know, like I was on point as I could get in active addiction, you know, and I got to perform in front of a bunch of people that didn't know me, and I got to share like who I was, and it was another really proud moment. Like all these like big shows and stuff where like people can like hear my story and hopefully take it in.
What do you think in the world, more bad or good people?
My dad always told me there's good people that do bad things and there's bad people who do good things, you know? I feel like the bad people who do good things kind of are either doing it for money or for show. And the good people that do bad things are doing the bad things so that they can do more good things in the grand scheme of things, you know? So it's like there's good and evil in everything, right? I think the way that the world's running has been very motivated by greed. So I think right now in the current state, at least like politically and the government and stuff, the people in control, like obviously not the greatest because they're doing it all for greed, but I don't think we should generalize people for that, right? I think there's a lot of people that do a lot of good, but because we don't prioritize greed, we don't get recognition, right?
What do you regret the most in your life?
Not keeping other girls safe. Not because I have a certain way of thinking, because I have a certain mentality, because of the trauma and the experiences I've been through. I sometimes forget that other people can be more naive, and one of my biggest regrets in my life is thinking someone could handle it. So I bring them into a situation and they never get out. Because I've had a lot of friends go really downhill because I introduced them to one person. Because I knew how to handle the situation. And I thought, oh, well, they must. And they're never the same again. So I think that's like one of the most regret.
What is the most important lesson you learned in your life so far?
That's a hard one. You know, there's I don't know. I don't know. I think just letting go of the shit you can't change, man. Like I struggle with that too. But if I held on to every bad thing that I did, or all the bad things that have happened to me, if I held on to that, I would have driven myself crazy by now. I'd be 6 feet in the ground right now. Moving on and doing better every single fucking day, you know? Like, you know, you're not the same person you were yesterday, right? So it's like, I can't hold on to all those bad things because it's not doing any good for the future, you know? So it's like, you know, a smile, you know? Like, freaking just try to like, if I held on to that, I wouldn't be sitting here with a smile on my face, with a tear down my eye, you know? Like, I know like joy and happiness and love like really motivate people, and I can't just be begrudgingly mad about my past all of a sudden. I'm so stupid. I was an addict. I did this to this person. like I can't do that, or that person did that to me, so I hate them for the rest of my life. Like, you're just gonna be grumpy, and you're not gonna help anybody ever. You're just gonna be a grumpy piece of shit your whole life. Do you want to be a grumpy piece of shit your whole life? No. Okay, move on. Right? Like, yeah, I think I'm a fairly positive person. I try to be, at least. Maybe not. I say some pretty outlandish things, but I say them with a smile on my face. Right?
Do you want to leave one message to yourself in 1 year?
You're gonna fucking do it. They're gonna say you can't, but you can, and you will. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be greater than you've ever imagined. And love yourself. Love yourself, bitch. Stop. Hate's gonna get you nowhere.
Okay. Any message to people who in struggling in addiction and wanna try to get clean? You have little bit experience, now you 1 week sober. Do you have some words to these people who, like you, fight to come back?
Talk to someone, dude. Find your support. Because there's people that have been begging you to stop doing this for so long. There's people that want to help you. You just have to commit to going through the icky feelings for a bit, and those people actually want to help you. It may seem like tough love. It may seem like they don't and that they're judging you and shit, but all they want is better for you. So talk to them, be honest to them. Be open about what you're actually struggling with. Because there are people there to help. There's people that love you. You just gotta accept the love. Even if it's tough love, accept the love. Accept it. Accept it.
Okay, I'm done with my question. If you want to say something more, you can say. If no, finish.
Thank you so much for having me here, number one. I'm really excited about this. I love sharing my story. I love being able to connect with people. Like I said, the opposite of addiction is connection. That's why I be out here doing this. Even when I'm struggling, that's why I'm open about it. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy that I got to share a little bit more, and hopefully be able to help more people in the future because of this. Because you're definitely helping people. You're helping me right now, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time and your story.
Thank you.